is Stampy, and welcome to a different type of video that I have never done before on the channel. Today, I am going to be reacting to one of my very old videos. So the video is called Minecraft Xbox 360 Edition 1.8.2 Update, all information, details, and additions. And this was uploaded in October 2012. So almost an entire lifetime ago. And this is just gonna be absolutely bananas. It's gonna be crazy because this is a video that I have not watched or think about since I recorded it. And it's gonna be so unbelievably cringy. My voice is gonna be awful. It's gonna be absolutely hilarious going back through and watching a video that I have not thought about for a very long time, and hopefully it will be very entertaining for you to see all of my live reactions to me going back and having a blast from the past. Blast from the past and watching back this old video. So yeah, I don't want to bore you. I don't want to delay whatsoever. So let's press play and watch together old Stampy Cat back on the good old-fashioned Xbox 360. Right, pressing play now. Hello, this is Stampylonghead, and welcome to my first Minecraft video in the 1.8.2 update. Yes, the update is finally here for the Xbox edition of Minecraft. I feel like I've been waiting for it for absolutely ever, but it's finally here, and in this video, I'm going to go through all of the noteworthy additions and changes to the game that have been added in this big update, and there's quite a lot to go through, and there's a lot of exciting stuff, but unfortunately, I'm going to have to start off in a menu and go through some of the options that are in the menu when creating a world, but it's some interesting stuff, so don't just skip ahead of this stuff. The big thing, of course, is creative mode is now in the game. Now when you load up a world, you can choose whether you want it to be in survival or creative mode. You can also set it so the world will be super flat, which means that the world will be flat near bedrock, and that will affect both the overworld and the nether. You can also disable clouds if you don't want any clouds in the sky. You also have the ability to rename an existing world. So say if you made a world called Poo Poo World and you thought that was a stupid name, because it is, you can now change it to something awesome like maybe Stampy's Lovely World or something like that, if that's what you want to do. There's now more host options. You can toggle it so that players can't kill each other in the game. You can also set it so that when someone joins, you don't immediately trust them, so you basically stop people from griefing by like mining or building without permission, like fire won't spread, and when TNT explodes it won't destroy the blocks around it. There's also certain host privileges that you can change, which you can affect actually in-game, like on the fly. You can also change it so that gamer tags are not displayed on the screen or on maps, which will be good for things like survival games or even machinima. You can also store like all of your settings and stuff in your player profile, so you can store like your invite only and friends of friends in your player profile, so you don't have to always have people as a friend when you want to invite them into the game. There's also an update for the download content menu, so you can see pictures of the DLC available, and they've also added in-game player options for the host, so you can do things like set whether you can build or mine. You can be like a moderator basically, so you can choose whether you want to kick people, like who can fly. You can like disable exhaustion, and you can make it so you can turn invisible, and just sort of extra settings like that you can do actually in-game. And I'm now actually going to load up a game, and I'm going to show you some of the changes that they've added in-game. Okay, well, I've now loaded up a world. I've done a little bit of editing in creative mode, and I've built myself a nice little house in here, little Stampy's temporary home, and I think there's an Enderman outside. I saw a little bit of a purple glow out there. I'm just going to have a quick look just to see if I can catch an Enderman, because I've not actually seen one yet, and it looks like it's either like burnt to death or buggered off, and we just got a load of creepers here instead, but oh well. I'm now, oh no, there's an Enderman, there we go. There's my first glimpse of an Enderman in Minecraft while not watching a video. They're generally pretty neutral, but if you actually look at them in like the face or like the torso, they can get a bit aggressive, and they also have a tendency of stealing blocks. And oh my god, there's a creeper. Hank, turn around! Hank, turn around! Don't blow up my house! Please don't blow up my house! Oh my god, I just made that house. You can also notice there the improved explosive animation and the change in the sound effect there. And there's quite a lot of changes that have been added to the main game, and I'm going to try and go through all of them, or at least all of the noteworthy ones here. One of the first things you might add is that they've changed some of the terrain generation features. You can now have strongholds that will spawn naturally. Also villages, like the village that I'm in here. Also abandoned mine shafts and ravines. And there's also a ravine quite close that I'll show you later on. So this was a naturally spawned village. I kind of edited this place a little bit to make it my home, but apart from that, this was all a naturally spawned village. And oh yeah, Ank's here, by the way. I never properly mentioned that. So this is my house here. There's also some changes to do with some of the stuff, like in the scenery. Nice jukebox playing there. The clouds are now like right up at the limit, and they also move like in sync with like the time in the game. Also, the sunrise and sunset look just like a lot prettier now, and also when moving up. When it's snowing and raining, it's supposed to look better, although I can't actually notice any significant difference in that. Also, you notice that the HUD has changed. You'll realise that I now have a hunger bar. You can see that just to the right of my health bar, there's a hunger bar, and I can actually eat to regain my health, as you can see Ank doing there as well. And of course, there is now a eating animation that's been added to the game. So instead of your food just disappearing, you will actually properly eat the food. You can now also sprint. Oh, thanks, Ank. Oh, it looks like Ank's brought some raw meat for me. Thanks very much. Yeah, you can now sprint, and you can see that in the top left-hand corner of the screen. There's a little icon which shows when your player is sprinting. Also, when in creative mode, when flying, that sort of same icon appears to show that you're flying. And the way that you sprint is you just double tap forward on the left analog stick. So I double tap, and then I start to sprint, and this is going to be a good time to sprint as soon as there's a creeper right there. There's also a few changes with some of the mobs, which I might talk about while there's one here. You can notice that with the pigs, their snout now pokes out from their heads a little bit more, and the pig there totally oblivious to what's going on behind him. Also, if you now punch a mob, they will actually try and run away from you. So you see that I hit that pig, and instead of just sort of passively wandering around, just try and sort of run away from me to stop it becoming pork chops. There's also some changes to some of the other mobs. Skeletons now have proper sized bows rather than sort of tiny bows. Zombies now drop rotten flesh rather than dropping the pretty useless feathers. And there's also some changes to some of the sounds that the mobs make. I haven't actually heard many of them myself. And there's some new mobs. You've already seen that Enderman. There's also cave spiders and silverfish, which we will hopefully see a little bit later on when I destroy some silverfish stone. There's also a few differences to do with the menus and stuff here. You can see that now if I press the back button, I can actually see what colour my icon will be on the map. I can go into host options, and I can change whether TNT will explode and whether fire will spread. I'm going to leave them activated because leaving them activated normally makes things slightly more fun. They've also changed some of the mining speed, so when you actually destroy blocks and mine stuff, there's actually a change to that. They've actually brought that forward. It was supposed to be in a later update, the 1.23 update on the PC version, but they've brought that forward now, so I think actually you mine some of the items slightly quicker, which is definitely a good thing. As I said, they've also improved the edges on the raining and stuff. They've also made it so that if I go to exit a game and I go to exit without saving, it will come up with an extra little warning like, are you sure you want to do that? Just to save those annoying moments where you may accidentally exit a game without saving. And also when the autosave comes up, it won't just sort of just suddenly save when you're halfway through doing something. There's like a little countdown timer which will come up on screen basically saying we're about to save the game now, just so it isn't like such a sudden shock. And also some of the how-to options, because there's so many new stuff added. If you go to how-to, you can sort of find out extra information about creative mode and like sprinting and some of the other new additions to the games. There's also been some fixes with like some of the bugs and just problems with the game. The duplication glitch no longer works. You can't do it, which shouldn't be too big of a problem for anyone because there's creative mode now, so there's no real need for it anyway. Also on split screen, it's slightly improved so that the aspect ratio for some of the things that you're holding in your hand are the right aspect ratio and not slightly skewed. There's also a fix for if you leave a game and you join someone else's game again, sometimes you'll lose all of your items. That's now fixed, so that shouldn't happen anymore. Also a fix with redstone so the tiles don't burn out when they shouldn't, and also a fix where the minecart with the furnace in it wasn't able to move other minecarts. It now can do that, and they've also fixed the particle code for the flipped third person view. Sometimes when you're in this view, some stuff didn't load in, like fire and stuff didn't look right. They've now sorted that out, and there's also a whole bunch of new items and features that have been added, and I've kind of built a little area down here so I can go through and demonstrate all of this stuff. There's now melon blocks which have been added to the game. This is what melons look like. Obviously they are still a block like any other item, and you destroy them, you get loads of pieces of melon, and you can get those pieces of melon and make them into melon seeds, which can be planted like pretty much anything else that you plant. If I just get my diamond hoe down here and I give you like a demonstration. I'm not actually sure if you do need to cultivate the land. I know you don't need to cultivate the land around the area, and you used to actually have to do that in the PC version, but they brought that forward as well. There's also now pumpkin seeds, which you can see in here, and they can be planted in just the same way. That's sort of how they grow there. Also a bunch of other different types of food. Apples are now in the game, and they drop from trees, and so if I come over here and I'm just going to get this diamond axe, and if I actually go and cut down some of these trees, when the leaf blocks deteriorate, some of them should drop apples. Also, you can just destroy the leaf box, and you sometimes get apples. They're pretty rare, you don't always get them, but that is the only way to legitimately get apples in the game. So hopefully we get some apples dropping. Also, leaf blocks, you can now place leaf blocks down and they won't actually get destroyed, they won't deteriorate, no matter if they're near wood or not. Normally you used to have like a wood block close for them to not get destroyed. Now you can just break them with your shears like you normally would, and I can place these like no matter where they are, and they will just stay there forever. But normal leaf blocks like ones up here won't, and as you can see here, I've got a nice little apple which has dropped down, and I'm actually going to eat that because I'm getting quite low on hunger. The way the hunger bar works with the health bar, if you got a hunger bar but low health, your hunger bar will deteriorate faster, but your health will go up. And if you have no hunger left, you won't actually die, you'll just lose your hearts. There's also a bunch of other food here. There's the golden apple, which was already in the game, but I think it's easier to get now than it was. It was extremely rare before. As I've said before, melon slicers, rotten flesh, which is dropped by zombies, cooked chicken and raw chicken, which you obviously get by killing chickens, and also beef and steak, which you get from cooking and killing cows. Also, another little extra thing you can do, which might make things handier, is that you can make mushroom stew, without a crafting table. So I can then make some nice mushroom stew, which I can eat in a minute, and I don't need a crafting table in order to do that. And you can also stack more food items. So you can see that I've here got a 64 stack of apples, and I originally wasn't able to stack many food items, and now I can do that. Okay, moving on, you can see that we here have a glass plane, which is kind of like a very thin, almost 2D piece of glass, which you can place like as windows and stuff. It just looks a little bit nicer than a full glass block. There's also here a fence gate, which Ank is demonstrating nicely, which is a great thing that you can sort of add to fences, and it's great for farms, just to sort of keep mobs out of like your area, as Ank seems to have just lagged out of the game. There's also some stuff which you can do now with stone bricks, which you need smooth stone to make, and there's some stone steps there, just some stone bricks, and some different variations, some with moss, some a bit crapped, and also stone half slabs. And there's also here silverfish stone, which looks identical to normal stone and cobblestone, but actually when you destroy them, I believe silverfish actually spawn and come out of them. Yeah, there you go. See, that's what a silverfish looks like, and they are actually an aggressive mob. They will try and kill you, despite the fact that they look really cute. And you generally get them in strongholds and stuff. I don't think you find them like ever like just naturally spawned around the world. And so if you're doing some sort of adventure map or some sort of puzzle map, and you want sort of a mob to spawn when you destroy something, you can put in there some silverfish stone. And I'm just going to destroy that one there to show you that it does it with both. And I'm going to get out a sword, even though it is a rubbish gold sword, to hopefully kill this silverfish slightly quicker. Also, just something else that you can craft, you can now make brick steps and brick half slabs, just sort of something else that you can build with materials that are already in the game. There's also iron bars added to the game, just sort of another aesthetic thing. You can't walk through them, and they're kind of slightly 2D again, like the glass pane. There's also vines which have been added to the game, and they actually spawn in the like jungle biomes. And there's something I didn't actually mention. There are some more biomes that are added to the game for generation, and you can there get a nice glimpse of where the sun set as its sun goes down there. You can see how it looks a bit nicer, the way the sort of sky sort of glows kind of pinky a bit. And there's also webs which have added to the game, and you can go through them, but you move extremely slowly as you walk through them. Also, you can like drop down, and you drop down slowly. Once again, very good for adventure maps and stuff. That's the kind of thing you'll find in like abandoned mine shafts and stuff. Also, sponge has been added to the game, and that's what sponge looks like if you want to make a big SpongeBob SquarePants model. And I'm actually now going to continue the tour in the morning, as I'm going to quickly leg it to bed, seeing as I had so many googlies when I started off the world a second ago. I don't really want to face that again. And oh no, my house has been destroyed, isn't it? I know. I think I can sort this out. It will never look the same. It will look a mess, but yeah, at least I'll be able to sleep without hopefully getting attacked. Just so I don't get scared during the night, I'm going to put on my favourite CD again. And I will go through some of the other music discs a little bit later on, but this is my favourite one so far. It's called Chirp. I like to listen to it when I go to sleep in this world. There we go. Hopefully there won't be too many googlies here to wake me up this morning. Okay, there's a few creepers over there, but as long as I keep an eye out on them, I should be okay. And here you can get a glimpse of a skeleton there with the larger bow. It's got a proper full-size bow there, and hopefully it's going to burn to death without killing me. And yeah, it just drops an arrow like it normally does. It'd be good if I actually found a skeleton and saw it dropping rotten flesh, but I suppose it's not particularly exciting anyway. Here I'm just showing off some of the items which are now buildable. Like, these were all items that were in the game anyway, but you couldn't really place them. Like, all of these ores, obviously once you destroy them, you just get what would be in them, and you can't actually place the block. But now with creative mode, you can actually place and destroy bedrock as sort of like another aesthetic block that you can place down. Also, obviously, diamond ore, coal ore, lapis ore, and redstone ore. You can now place ice wherever you want. It doesn't have to be in a snow biome. You can also place snow wherever you want. It doesn't have to be in a snow biome. And also all of these sort of tall grass type things, obviously a lot of them now spawn more, as you can see all of this tall grass around here, but you can also place them wherever you want without having to worry about bone meal. And also if you get shears, you can actually, if I just get rid of that, I can actually destroy them and pick them up. So if I'm on survival mode, not creative mode, I'm just going to get rid of some crap. My inventory seems to be filling up really quickly, so I'm going to get rid of some rubbish here. But you can see I can drop these, I can pick them back up, and then I could place them down wherever you want. It just makes it a little bit easier if you're trying to, I don't know, add some little leaves or something, I don't know, a tiny little Christmas tree down there. Something else which is new is the music discs. You heard one of them. There's 10 new ones in total, bringing it up to 12. And there's a few weird ones, like this is a bit of a peculiar one, this black one. They've all got names. This one's called 11, and I'm not going to go through all of them here. I'm just going to start that playing for a bit and have that in the background. It's definitely a bit of a peculiar one, that one, but I just leave that playing. Also, there's a new type of armour called chain armour, and so I'm just going to grab all of this, going to get rid of a rose which I don't need. And you can also now quick move armour, so say if you want to equip it, you don't have to go and drag it all up like that really slowly. If you just press Y on it, you can quickly move it into place. And I'm going to take this off because that was a really horrible disc. I'm going to put a nicer one on. I've already done Chirp. I do... I don't know what I'm picking, I don't know any of them. I'll put Far on. Let's see what that sounds like. Oh, I'll just put the same one on again. Sorry, one sec. I know it doesn't really matter, but that other one was a bit creepy. There we go, some nicer background music. So as I said, you can now quick move to put armour on, and it looks a bit weird, this kind of armour, especially when I'm dressed up as a cat, but oh well, still kind of cool. There's now also ender pearls added to the game, and as far as I know, they're pretty useless. In the PC version, they can be used to teleport yourself. You could like throw them, and then you'll teleport to wherever they land. You can't actually do that yet in the Xbox version, so I don't know if they do have any use. I'm going to have to find that out, maybe leave it as an annotation popping up on the screen now if I do find any use for it. But for now, I think it's just like another aesthetic item. There's also now some new changes to the way the weapons work. You see, if I pick up this bow and arrow and a bunch of arrows, and I'm also going to grab this sword, you'll see that with a sword, I can swing it like normal, but I can also block. So say if someone tries to attack me, I can block, and I move slower while I'm blocking, but I believe I take half the amount of damage, or certainly a lot less damage. There's also now an animation for when you're using the bow and arrow. You see I can do it, I can hold it back and fire it like that, so I can fire it further, or I could just sort of tap it and it wouldn't go very far. And so say if I want to do it to there, I can just do that, because I don't need it to fall very far just to get to that one there. If I can actually hit that, pull it back a little bit further to get to that one there, and if I want to hit that massive creeper in the background, pull it all the way back, and there, see if I can hit him in the eye. Oh, nearly. That's the one. So that's just something a little bit cool. It just looks a little bit more realistic, and there's a bit more strategy to sort of firing your arrow. Something else which is new, and one of the biggest things for me, which I'm happy about, is the fact that animals don't despawn. So you can sort of set up an area like this, get some wheat to attract some animals. You can trap them in this fenced area, and they won't despawn. So you can keep coming back, and they will still always be there. And if I throw down a few eggs here, and hopefully get some chickens or ducks, whatever they are, spawning in here, these shouldn't despawn, so they'll just sort of stay in that pen, and I can sort of use that as a farm. You can't actually breed animals yet. That will be added hopefully in a future update, but this is still better than nothing. You could have some sheep in there and keep using it to sort of dye them and get wool and stuff, which would be very useful. A small addition is that you can now place pressure pads on top of fence posts, which might seem like a small thing, but it's very good if you want to make sort of table looking things like this. There's also more quick move options, so say if you want to put something into a dispenser or a furnace, you can now quick move it. So I'm just gonna, oh god, I've got so much stuff. Right, let me just dump a load of stuff. I've actually got a lava pit over here. I'm just gonna throw all of my rubbish that I don't need in here, just get it all out the way. So I started this with pretty much like an empty inventory, and look how full up it's got already. Yeah, so if I just grab some of this stuff, you can see that if I want to quick move something into a furnace, I could just move all of that coal in there, and then move all of the gold all up there, instead of having to like actually grab it and move it up myself like you used to. Also dispensers, I can now quick move something into a dispenser like that, and then of course, if I put a pressure pad down, oh god, put it down in the right place, put it down next to it, there I can get my snowballs firing out of it like that, and firing over at the pumpkins over there. Also the chests, you've probably seen already from the past chests, but they now have an animation. When I go to open them, they actually properly open. You can't see very well because kind of the screen sort of covers half of it up, but they do there. You can kind of see there they open up. That's what it looks like on a double chest. Also, it's changed now, so you get death messages. If you die, it will come up as kind of like a kill feed kind of thing, saying who died and sort of give a bit of a description of how they died. And I'm just going to prove that to you by taking my own life of the sacrifice I go through for these videos. So I've made a little diving board here, and it goes into a lava pit down there. So if I kill myself, it might take a little while because I'm on easy mode. Also, I got quite a lot of health and armor. You see I died, and you'll see there Stampylonghead went up in flames, and it says that my bed is missing, and I didn't think my bed was missing. I thought it was okay, but oh well, it's still saying that there. And that's pretty much all of the stuff that I wanted to talk about in terms of new additions, in terms of mobs and items and equipment and stuff. But I'm now going to switch over in the same world, but going into creative mode to talk through some of the changes that there's been in creative mode and just sort of how it all works. So I'm just going to cut ahead to that now. Okay, I've now loaded the world back up inside creative mode, and you'll see that at first everything looks like it's pretty much the same as it was, but if you double tap the A button, you'll kind of fly and hover a bit, and you can then just sort of fly around and look at what you want. So as I said, you double tap A to get into fly mode. Normally you fly around at this speed, but if you go into sprint mode by double tapping forward, you then go into sort of flying super fast mode. If you hold down A, you rise up higher. If you hold down the right analog stick, you go down lower. You can also use the D-pad to sort of move up, down, left and right, kind of in a more gentle movement. But as you can see, you can move around fast, and the only problem with it is you can kind of move a little bit too fast, to the point where you can, as you can see, the world doesn't really load in fast enough for you. And if you sort of fly at this speed for a large amount of time, you can get to a point where you can pretty much see absolutely nothing underneath you. And this is a bit of a glimpse of the world that I loaded up. This was just a random seed, and you can see how common the villages are. You can see there's a village there. There's a village over there, and I also believe there's a village just over here somewhere, and it's kind of like half submerged by water. You can see here there's a village there which is spawned in the middle of a desert and water, so a bit of a weird location. I'm also going to quickly show you a ravine which was spawned naturally. I also saw a kind of a pit down here. This looks kind of interesting. This sort of natural looking, like, I don't know, outside theatre type thing. That was a kind of cool. I haven't actually found any abandoned mines or strongholds or any of that kind of stuff, but there are natural rivers in this world, and here you can see a kind of ravine type thing. It's just a bit of a weird place that wouldn't have otherwise naturally spawned. And oh no, look at that poor pig. Oh no, look at that pig just stuck there. It must have just literally spawned there, and now it's got like no way of getting away. How did you get there, buddy? Oh man, I'm kind of tempted to kill him. Actually, you know what? I'm going to free him. I'm going to be nice to this pig. I'm going to give him an escape route. Come on, piggy, come this way. You're safe. Come on. I made a little safe area for you. Okay, tell you what, well, there we go. Is he going to get away? There we go. I've saved the pig. Aren't I a hero? Okay, anyway, now I'm going to go through some of the stuff that you can do in creative mode in terms of building. If you press up the X button, you bring up the creative mode menu where you can see every different placeable block and item that you can use. There's building blocks, decorations, redstone and transportation, materials, food, tools, weapon and armor, and just miscellaneous stuff. The way you put something into your bar is you just select over it, pick what you want to use. Say if I want to build something out of cobblestone, I press A and it will be there in my inventory, and then I can just go down my inventory, and then I can just go down and place it like I'd place like any other block. Double tap A to get out of flying mode, and you can see that I can keep placing them, and I'll just have an endless supply of them. I can just keep placing as many as I want, and if you look down in my quick select menu, there's none like actually disappearing. It just always stays there. Also, to destroy blocks, just press right trigger and you'll destroy them instantly. Doesn't matter what it is. It could be wall, it could be I don't know, bedrock, and I can place it and just destroy it as easily as I want. If you want to make a stack of an item, say if you want to put something in an item for like a survival game map, if you press Y on it instead, so say if I wanted to put 64 apples in a chest, if I press Y to take all, I actually make a stack of 64, then I can just put that whole stack into a chest. So when I load this up on survival, I'll have an actual stack there rather than just the one apple, and that's pretty much all you need to know. It's got everything here that you're really going to need for building. I don't believe they've missed anything out. I don't really see how they would, and it's just good even if you've got a map that you don't want to use as creative mode, but you want to add some of the new additions like melons or something like that. It's an easy way to add it to your world. I think in my lovely world I'm going to add some of this new stuff, and it's very easily just to select stuff and put whatever you want into the game. And something that I do want to warn you about very quickly though is that if you have your world and you put it on creative mode briefly and save it, then go back to survival mode, you won't have anything updated on the leaderboards, and you also won't unlock any achievements. So any world that has been on creative mode briefly or is left on creative mode, you won't be able to get any stats on the leaderboards, and you also won't be able to get any new achievements for that world. So just bear that in mind. You know, it's kind of a commitment to not getting achievements and stuff if you do set it up. And I'm just going to quickly show you how easy it is to build in creative mode by just putting a little hat on top of this creeper here, a nice little kind of top hat kind of thing. Yeah, just to show literally how easy it is to build. Like, I mean, you can understand now like how all of this amazing stuff is built on PC when they sort of have this as an option. You know, I'm a rubbish builder, and you can see like how quickly I can do this. You imagine like someone who's actually good at building, like the amazing stuff that they could build really quickly. You can see there I've just added a kind of stupid looking hat there on top of my creeper. It's going out for like a formal occasion, and it's just so easy to build everything now, and I'm just really looking forward to all of the new stuff that is going to be added. And the other thing that I just want to quickly mention about this update is that they've made some changes to the tutorial world. I'm not going to show you them here in this video because to be honest there's no real point. You might as well explore them for yourself. It's more for beginners of the game anyway. But they've made it so that there's the new features in the world on the tutorial world, you know, like things like rivers and new things to like the terrain. They've also added a little tutorial for sprinting and eating. They've also added some kind of quests, which is the most interesting things, kind of like Easter eggs, so that there's music discs in the tutorial world. There's like 12 chests, and there's kind of like mini quests that you've got to go and try and find them. And the final thing that they did in the update, the 1.82 update, is that they actually removed Herobrine, which I thought they were going to do in the last update, but apparently they've only just removed Herobrine now, so we should all be able to sleep slightly safer at night now, knowing that Herobrine won't wake us up. And if I just quickly show you the map of this world, I'm not going to show you them directly, but you can see this kind of rivers. Actually, I might as well show you, as soon as I can fly to places so quickly. And you can also kind of see some of the different biomes. You can see like here, all of these dense trees. It's a bit more of like a jungle biome, and you actually find vines naturally spawning and spreading on trees around here. I can't actually see any, but you do actually get that now, and I've gone off in the complete wrong direction. But if I go down here somewhere, so I'm still getting used to flying. It is kind of easy, but I'm making it look more difficult. You can see here there's a naturally spawned river down here. Unfortunately I didn't get any footage of any mine shafts or anything, but I'm sure that if you go mining and investigating, you'll come across some of that stuff. So that's everything that I thought to be noteworthy, or that I thought you should hear about in terms of this update. There are one or two very minor things that I may have missed out. I tried to cover everything, but I will have a link in the description to like a list of everything that was changed, all of the like minor bug fixes and alterations to the game. So if you want a more in-depth look at all of the stuff that's changed in this update, just look in the description of this video. But apart from that, that's all I've got to say and show you. So thank you very much for watching, and I will see you later.
Oh, that was just as I expected. Absolutely crazy. But you know, the thing is,